Claire?
I know it doesn't make any sense, but I seem to have fallen through time.
There really aren't many shows out there quite like Outlander. Since it first hit our screens back in 2014, this star's historical drama has taken us on a wild ride full of time travel, sweeping romance, and more than a few heart-stopping moments. Now here we are over a decade later, and it's still going strong. Season 7 has been packed with drama. The end of an era is creeping closer. In the penultimate episode of Season 7, we're thrown right into the thick of the Battle of Monmouth, a key moment in the Revolutionary War. The stakes are high as the Continental Army tries to land a crucial victory. And just when you think the action can't get more intense, Claire, played by Katrina Balfe, finds herself caught in the chaos while trying to help the wounded. We don't know what happens to her yet, but with only one episode left, fans are already looking ahead to Season 8 with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Season 8 will officially be the final chapter of Outlander, and it's promising to wrap up the epic saga of love, sacrifice, and time-hopping adventure. One character who's really come into her own lately is Brianna, played by Sophie Skelton. Brie's storyline has been running separately in the 20th century, where she's been dealing with some pretty intense stuff. Kidnapper Rob Cameron, played by Chris Fulton, is trying to take her children for his own dark purposes. But Brie isn't one to back down. Much like her father, she's willing to fight and even kill to protect her family. If it means going back through the stones, she'll do that too. Sophie Skelton recently talked to Town & Country about what fans can expect from the final season. She sounded genuinely proud of how it's all coming together. "I'm really proud of Season 8, she said. "I'm excited for people to see it because we weren't sure if 7 was the end or not. I think 8 really does justice to the whole story." That kind of confidence has fans hoping for a satisfying conclusion. A lot has gone down in Season 7. Fans have definitely been put through the emotional ringer. Skelton gets that. But she also hinted that while the tail end of Season 7 might calm things down a little, Season 8 is going to bring the emotional coaster right back. In her words, the final season is going to blow people's minds a little bit. According to her, Season 7 wraps up on a somewhat peaceful note, a sort of collective sigh of relief. But then, Season 8, we're just going to mess you up again emotionally. I think it's a really big and a really magnificent season. I'm excited for the fans to get to see it. Now let's talk about Brie and Roger. While Claire and Jamie are the OG love story that everyone's been following since day one, Brie and Roger have really grown into their own. Over the years, they've been through a lot: separations, time jumps, kidnappings, you name it. And in Season 7, that relationship is really put to the test again. When Rob Cameron steps in and threatens their family, Roger and Brie don't fall apart. Instead, they come together and take action without hesitation. Skelton shared her thoughts on this with Collider, saying it was nice to show how much Brie and Roger's relationship has matured. Old Roger and Brie might have let this tear them apart, she explained, but now there's so much unspoken understanding between them. They just decide, let's go get our son. No drama, no bickering, just pure teamwork. That's the kind of growth we love to see. So with the Season 7 finale just around the corner, fans are bracing themselves. It's been a thrilling ride so far, and it feels like everything's building up to one big emotional farewell. Season 8 has a big job ahead of it, bringing Jamie and Claire's story to a close in a way that's both satisfying and true to the spirit of the series. And with the original book series still unfinished, that's not going to be easy. But if Season 7 is anything to go by, the showrunners know exactly what they're doing. Roger's storyline in particular has been a standout this season. In Part 3 of Season 7, he goes on a literal journey through time in search of his son Jemmy. What he doesn't realize is that Rob Cameron never took Jemmy through the stones. So, Roger ends up wandering through the Scottish Highlands in 1739. But the funny thing is, this detour turns out to be way more important than he could have imagined. This part of the story is a great example of what makes Outlander so special. It's not just the romance or the history, it's the time travel. There's something so intriguing about how everything somehow falls into place, even when it looks like a complete accident. Roger's trip to 1739 ends up being crucial, not just for Jemmy, but for Roger himself. In fact, it turns out that Roger's journey through time is the very reason he was ever born in the first place. While he's in 1739, Roger teams up with Buck Mackenzie, who just happens to be one of his ancestors. Together, they end up playing matchmaker for Gillis Duncan and Dougal Mackenzie, who are Buck's parents. If Roger and Buck hadn't gone back, Buck wouldn't have been born, which means neither would Roger nor his kids. That's already a pretty wild paradox, but it doesn't stop there. Roger also runs into his own father, Jerry Mackenzie, who accidentally came through the stones during World War II. Thanks to Roger's help, Jerry makes it back to his own time, and just in time to save young Roger's life during the London Blitz. It's one of those jaw-dropping Easter eggs that ties everything together in the most satisfying way. Although the show hasn't explained what happened to Jerry afterward, the books fill in the gaps. According to the source material, Jerry makes it back to London just in time to save 5-year-old Roger from being killed. So if Roger hadn't gone back in time, his dad wouldn't have survived, and Roger himself would have died as a child. Total mind bender, right? This twisty, timey-wimey loop brings Roger's story full circle. The guy who started out as a mild-mannered historian ends up being the reason for his own existence. It's one of those beautiful time travel moments that's both touching and clever, and it proves just how thoughtful the show's writing can be. It also sets a high bar for Claire's ending in Season 8. Claire's story needs to pack that same kind of punch. We know she was destined to meet Jamie, that much is clear. Without that, Bree and her children wouldn't exist. But unlike Roger, Claire hasn't had that same poetic time travel twist. Not yet, anyway. And if Season 8 skips over giving her a full circle moment, that would feel like a missed opportunity. Diana Gabaldon, the author of the Outlander books, has promised that her final book will answer some big questions, like why did Jamie's ghost appear in the 20th century, or who planted those forget-me-nots that lured Claire to the stones in the first place. But with the book still in the works, the show has to come up with its own creative answers, and it looks like they're already heading in that direction. One of the biggest mysteries introduced in Season 7 is the idea that Claire and Jamie's first daughter, Faith, might have actually survived. This isn't something from the books, so it's a bold new direction for the show. But it might just be the key to giving Claire's story that full-circle closure it deserves. There's a character named Fanny, also called Faith Pocock, who sings a song from the 20th century. That detail might seem small, but in Outlander, stuff like that usually means something big. If Fanny really is their daughter, or if she's somehow tied to time travel, then her appearance in Jamie and Claire's life definitely isn't a coincidence. There's a good chance that someone like Master Raymond, a mysterious character with a knack for showing up at just the right moment, is pulling some strings here. If that's the case, then we might get to see a greater purpose behind all of Claire's time-hopping adventures. And honestly, that would be the perfect way to end it all. With just one season left, Outlander has the chance to stick the landing. If it can bring the romance, the drama, the history, and that signature time travel magic all together, then fans are in for something truly unforgettable. And that's what we have to say about Season 8. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.